Most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy. Everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away. That I wasn't really a loser. I just was someone who was like in a fucked up situation. You have a wife that you have to feed. You have a child you have to raise. You have your mortgage. You have your this. You have your that. And that's where it all comes from.
Where do you think opportunity plays into that?
Well, the opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff. That was my vehicle out of my dilemma. I knew one thing. I couldn't work like a regular job. Like, I had to figure out something else. Because, like, there's the idea of, it was literally the idea of being in an office was like torture. Find a thing you like. Try to find a thing that you really enjoy. Try to find a thing that you're passionate about.
Like an activity.
Yes. For me, early on, it was drawing. It was illustrations. It was comic books. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. And then it went from comic book drawing and illustrations to martial arts. So, but it was just another thing that I was very, very passionate about. The safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time. It's hell. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. Pretend there's a documentary crew filming your success story, and they're following you around right now. What would you do? Is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. There was a crew following you around with cameras documenting your future incredible success. And then you have to have a plan, and you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. You would do all the right things you would have to do. Think about that, organize it. But we are saddled down by so many doubts and so much mental horseshit that keeps people from action. Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times. If you live around a bunch of people that are complaining and bitching about everything, and they see the negative in everything, and they're always whining, those people are the opposite of that. They're the opposite of inspiration, and they're mud. It's like you're up to your ankles in mud. You try to trudge through life. It's difficult. You're not light. The wind's in your face, and it's rough. Take the stairs. I don't even know if this is... Come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author, and if you're gonna try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, god damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific. You push through, and there's great benefit in that. And then you realize that you can kind of apply that to other things in life. You can apply that to critics. You can apply that to social media commentators. You can apply that to a lot of things. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. I used to like to think that my thought process was independent and that I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. That's nonsense. People say that because they absolutely care what people think, and it bothers them. I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just going to coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a fucking human. You're a human being. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person. But too many people are trying to curate a life of total passivity and calmness, and that shit's nonsense. You're gonna die. And I feel like there's a lot of benefit in creating your own struggle rather than, like, if you see a lot of people that run into like a lot of struggle with life, like just life in general. I like to make my own horseshit. I don't need any real horseshit in my life. People need a certain amount of conflict and a certain amount of struggle. And they create that struggle if they don't get it in some sort of a organic form in terms of like relationships and friendships and fallings out. The more I create my own struggle, the more you do that, the more I feel like it minimizes those other struggles in life. I like it that way better. I don't need any real horseshit in my life. He's like,